Hello students. So, in this video, that is the second part of History of Novels, we are going to see who are the precursors of novels. Before starting, we will just revise what we already saw in the first part. We saw what is novel. When we talk about novel, whenever novel we are talking, it is usually said that 18th century, novel and 18th century. Two major gifts of 18th century are periodical essay and novel. Now, when we say 18th century, is it there that there were no something similar written earlier? No. Something doesn't come abruptly. Seeds are sown and it takes time. The process is gradual. Okay. So we can't say, though novel emerged as a popular genre of English literature in 18th century, the seeds were sown earlier. So in this video, we will see the precursors of the novel, because of whose work novel, something similar to novel, means novel as a genre emerged. Okay, now what is novel? A fresh story, a new story. We already saw novel is written in prose and gives it is a detailed narrative of the experiences of human life in prose. Already while teaching, I told you that novel is totally different from drama because here the novelist has full freedom. While writing drama, there were certain things which have to be kept in mind because it was necessary. The drama has to be staged, it has to be enacted upon the stage. Okay, so there were many limitations, and such limitations were not there in novel, and that's why this is one of the reasons why novels became very popular. Now we saw that novel, a new story, a fresh story, okay, and gradually it came to be known as a story written in prose. Now when I am saying a story written in prose, why I am saying so? Because usually before 18th century, stories were written in words. Stories were written in words. That is, they followed a rhythm, a pattern, a meter. Okay? Now, so precursors, because of whom the seeds of novel were sown. Okay? So first, when we talk about such stories, we talk about Greek romances, which were published from 2nd to 6th century. Now, what are romances? Romances are stories written in verse. Again, I am highlighting stories written in verse. We have two, yes, prose, poetry, prose, poetry. So, verse is something which has rhythm, which has meter, okay, which has meter, that is verse. Now, the stories earlier were written in verse. So, Greek romances were the stories written in verse. They had rhythm, they had meter, they were written in meter. Now, these were very popular. For around 1000 years, these stories were popular among the people. Okay. Then came Virgil's eclogues. Now, when we talk about Virgil's eclogues, even these are written in verse. Okay. But it laid the foundation of novel because of its popularity. Then we have Melville's Mortally Arthur. Now, it is also a romance. Okay, it talks about the valor and the legions, stories of legions and all. So these were the works which became popular and which told a story but in verse, in rhythm, in meter. Then came the very popular Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales, which is also said to be one of the earlier works which is somewhat similar to novel. Now, if Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales we are talking, it is a set of 24 stories written in verse. Again, I am highlighting verse because novel is what we are reading nowadays. It is written in the format of prose. Okay, so these were the works which were written in the form of meter, rhythm, rhyme, similar to poetry that you read. Chaucer's Canterbury Tales had more than 17,000 lines, but written in verse. Out of 24 stories, 2 were written in the style of prose, and that's why it has been given so much importance. Okay. Now, why we count these as the precursors of novel, the works which laid the seeds of novel? Because these told stories about legends, about normal people, about means the things which were not touched earlier in other works. Okay. Now, as these became popular, automatically the seeds of novel were sown. When we talk about the first novel in the world, we talk about the Japanese novel by Murasaki Shikibu's, that is Tale of Genji. It is considered the first novel of the world. This novel is a novel written in Japanese. This novel is written in Japanese. Okay. Now, the other work, similar important work from Europe, is by the Spanish writer Don Quixote, is the work by Spanish writer Cervantes, and his work Don Quixote, which was published in 2 parts from the year 1605 to 1615, has been very popular. It talks about the adventure of a knight, okay, and this laid the foundation of the novel. Now, these were the works. Always remember, something doesn't emerge automatically or suddenly. There are certain aspects which are responsible, which lays the foundation, and gradually over the process, the things come into being. Okay? So, these were the works which laid the foundation of novel, and gradually when the condition was favorable, and when was the condition favorable? The condition became favorable in 18th century. The condition became favorable in 18th century, that is the Victorian age, and thereby novel became very popular. When we talk about 18th century, we talk about 2 genres of English literature, essay and novel. And though we always say that 18th century gifted 2 important genres, one of which is still popular, still remember that the process started way back. The process started before many years with work of these people. Okay? So in this video, we saw the precursors of novel. When we talk about novel, we always remember 18th century. But 18th century was responsible for many factors which resulted in the popularity of novel as a form. But there were certain works which were published earlier and which laid a foundation. 18th century only provided the favorable condition which led to the popularity of this genre, and it became popular. Okay, so in this video we saw about the precursors of the novel. We talked about romances which were published from 2nd and 6th century and were popular for thousands of years. Then we talked about Virgil's Eclogues. We talked about Canterbury Tales. Okay, all these were written in verse. I told you verse similar to poetry. It has rhythm, it has rhyme, it has meter. Then slowly, gradually, prose was accepted. Morte d'Arthur, story of legends written. So this was the starting point. When we talk about the first novel of the world, it is Japanese novel by Murasaki Shikibu, and that is Tale of Genji, which was published in it is considered as first novel. Okay. Then gradually, about European, if we see a work which became famous, it was Don Quixote, published in 2 parts, written by Cervantes. Okay, so in this part we saw about the precursors of novel, but in the next part of that history of novel, the series, we will see the reasons, the exact reasons which were favorable enough to popularize novel as a genre. Thank you.